These are the craziest scenarios that could play out on draft night for the Chicago Bears. Greg, you're fired up about this topic. I'm going to let you go first.
Yep. I think the craziest scenario that can happen for Bears fans is that the Bears trade next year's first-round pick to move up and get Ashton Jeanty. And I think there is a chance that happens. When you look at the way Ryan Poles has operated here, he definitely has an itchy trigger finger when it comes to players he falls in love with. And how can you not fall in love with a guy like Ashton Jeanty? And to me, when you look at where the Bears are currently at in this, are they in a win now moment? Certainly sounded like that the other day when he spoke to the players for the first time. And are they looking to protect Caleb Williams? Well, look at all the moves they've made on the offensive line. What's another great way of protecting Caleb Williams? Get the best running back available in the draft. I understand it's a running back heavy draft. You got a first-round pick next year. You're worried about this year. You're worried about having these next 3 years be bolstered down under Caleb Williams' rookie year or rookie contract, and you have Ashton Jeanty in that backfield for the next 3 years. And you talk about the talent around that room with DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet, Ashton Jeanty, and then you've got Caleb Williams and that offensive line. I think that's something that is very much on the table.
I don't know if it's on the table. I do think it's crazy, though, given that there's so much running back depth. That would just be wild to me to give up a future first-round pick just to draft a running back. Would be kind of Bearsy to do, though.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Ryan Pace might do that. I don't know about Ryan Poles. Here's what I think.
We don't know what Ryan Poles almost moved up for to get Rome Odunze last year, but he was certainly thinking about it.
Yeah,
that's where I think it's actually plausible, because if he does have his guy and he really wants to come up to get him, and he feels like the Raiders are going to pick him, and they play
Bears are in win now.
Yeah, I mean,
can I give you one that's similar, but even crazier than that?
Let's hear it.
Would be if they didn't trade up for Ashton Jeanty, but they took a different running back at 10.
Marion Hampton,
or like they get super wild. Like we find out Ben Johnson loves Travion Henderson or something.
Right.
They go that route, and it's not on a trade back. They just take them there because this is our and that sounds crazy too. That's why we're doing this podcast. That's not unlike sort of what they did with Darnell Wright a couple years ago. Now that's a premium position. It's a little bit different, but like here is this guy that was more considered a late first rounder, early second rounder, and the Bears worked them out, and they just gradually did their homework on him. Like, well, this guy's worth that time they were at number 9, then I'm trading back to 10, but it's like basically the same spot, and they've been happy with the pick so far.
Bears fans, I think, would riot in the streets if Travion Henderson was taken at 10 when we've spent 2 months projecting, hey, well, that'd be a great option at 39, and now all of a sudden you've got you can have him, but you're getting him at 10. That to me would be a wild scenario.
I'll give you another wild scenario is that the Bears let's go the other way. They actually get to trade out of it and say the Steelers want to come up and they want to get a quarterback in Shedeur, something of that ilk. And the first pick, it's not on the line, and it's not a tight end, and it's not a running back, but they love the linebacker, Jahad Campbell, or they love one of the safeties. Because you can, if you're thinking off the board moves of things that they do need down the line, both those positions are going to be in play. So because when you really are looking for impact players, if you're not getting Jeanty and you're not getting Tyler Warren, and you're looking for top end here, and you don't think, and you're worried that Will Campbell's arms are a little bit too short, and you don't love any of the edge rushers, I do wonder if it's at least on the board on a trade back that they go linebacker or safety.
Well, and when you talked about the trade back, make sure you guys tune into our live show from this week where we talked about Shedeur Sanders potentially falling to 10 and a team like the Steelers wanting to move up. Maybe there's a leverage play with a team like the Cowboys or who knows, the Colts. Throw out a few different names. You never know. I think another aspect for me when you talk about pushing your chips all in on this Ben Johnson era and the win now mode that they clearly have been told and messaged from their head coach here just a few days ago at House Hall when they met for the first time. I'm going to package not just trading up to the number 3 pick and taking Ashton Jeanty, but then doubling down and trading back into the first round at the end to get your offensive lineman. Let's say a guy like Josh Simmons falls to 29 or 30, and now you're sitting there at 39. and you don't want to wait.
They trade up for a guy whose knee exploded. I will walk off the set on draft night.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying drafting him. If they draft him, that's different. But if they're you told me they traded up for a running back and on the same night traded up for a guy whose knee exploded 6 months ago, I will leave.
And I understand why. I get where you're coming from, but that's why a guy like that, I mean, if somebody's going to fall to 30, it's got to be for a reason, right?
This
Josh Simmons
is supposed to be crazy draft scenarios, not
crazy.
stupid scenarios.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, there's some fans that want Josh Simmons at 10 as long as his medical's clear. And that's the one thing we're not privy to is how his medicals, whether or not they're going to clear or not. But if they do, and somehow he falls to 30, and this is a top 10 talent, well, the Bears are sitting there at 39. What would it take, Hoge, for a team to like the Bears at 39 to move back into the back end of the first round? Like, what's the draft equity that they'd have to give up to do a move like that?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't have the chart.
Like maybe third round?
Yeah, it's not.
They don't
it's
have
not as much as you think it is.
Right.
Yeah.
You already had your one crazy. Now you're going too crazy. Now you're
I am too crazy.
Now you're throwing at Hoge to pull up draft capital. What's your crazy, Hoge?
I gave it that they would draft a different running back at 10.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the program.
I didn't think that was that crazy. I think that's actually on the board.
No.
It's a little bit crazy. It's a little
Travion Henderson
on the board.
10 is
it's
not.
a little on the board.
All right, let me give you another one. A couple of crazier things that could happen later in the draft.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts, Hoge.
What if I told you that they
drafted a punter again in the 4th round?
Well, I was going to go that route, but this year it's a kicker. They draft a kicker.
Who's the kicker?
7th round kicker.
Well, I mean, Poles is drafted.
This year's kicker class is a little bit different. I don't think there's anybody you would really consider taking until probably the 6th round or something like that. But
6th round kicker would be a little
7th
crazy.
round kicker.
Yeah. Okay.
7th round kicker.
Who is it?
I don't know. I don't have anybody in mind. I'm just saying you would probably freak out if they did that.
Yes, I would.
Okay, so that's crazy. What if they drafted?
Not in the 7th. I wouldn't freak out.
What if they drafted a quarterback anywhere? 4th round, Will Howard, Ohio State. Come on down.
I'm about to get sick and walk off the set
trade
in this mini pod. That is obviously not on the board because.
Of course it could be because you could trade Travis Bajan to a quarterback needy team. Your affinity for Travis.
They're going to trade Tyson's dad.
Oh, yeah. Tyson Bajan. Travis.
Hey, if you can get something for Travis.
I mean, it's a package deal. It's a package deal.
I ain't trade Travis. I trade Travis. I trade Tyson. I'm not trading Mama Bajan or any of the family.
Oh, man.
The entire Bajan family should have their own suite at Hallis Hall, damn it. They ain't drafting no quarterback, Hoge, but that philosophy is a winning philosophy, so I don't completely hate it.
We're trying to come up with crazy draft scenarios.
To your point, as we wrap this mini pod up, I mean, to your point though, Hoge, as much as we all project what's going to happen in these drafts every single year, it's expect the unexpected. And last year, Bo Nix going at 10, Michael Penix going to the Falcons at 8,
Vikings trading up for JJ.
Vikings traded up for J.J. McCarthy. And obviously there was a quarterback-heavy draft last year, so it's a little different. But still, it still holds true that every single year we go through these mock drafts 100 times, these simulations, and we think we have a good bead on how this is all going to go, and then it flips on its head on draft night, and that's what makes the NFL draft so much fun.
Which is why I can't wait to be with you on night 1 and night 2, buddy.
That's
you
right.
too, Hoge.
That's right. Come to our draft party. Get the tickets now. allchgo.com/events. You could join us April 24th and 25th.
Southside.
115 Bourbon Street. All you can eat and drink and listen to because you're going to have live shows both nights.
allchgo.com/events. Get your tickets.
Hope you enjoy this mini pod, and you can listen to the show 5 days a week, noon. CHGO Bears Podcast. Get it in your feed. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Do all those great things to help support us at CHGO. Talk to you next time.